music is not always written by saints, let's say, and I'll leave it at that. No, Bethlehem Down is a genuine carol, and I think it's very lovely, very gentle. Who was Peter Warlock? Well, he was born in 1894 and he died in 1930. He was Welsh, and he made a reputation for himself as a composer and actually also as a critic and musical journalist. He wrote some lovely, lovely solo songs, and perhaps that's what he's best remembered for. And if any of you are string players, you have probably played his lovely Capriole suite. But from time to time, he wrote carols. He had a soft spot for Christmas, and there are quite a number of them. He was described by Elizabeth Hoston, who was a great authority on Christmas carols, as the greatest carol writer of the 20th century. Now that's quite an accolade, actually. But Bethlehem Down was, I think, from the mid-1920s, and he wrote it for a competition. One of the daily newspapers had a Write a Carol competition, and even though he was well established as a professional composer, he was frequently short of money. And he thought, well, if I enter this competition and win, then it might just pay for a little bit of Christmas cheer. And he got together with a drinking companion called Bruce Blunt, who was a full-time journalist. But he had a very nice way with words. And if you read the text of Bethlehem Down, it's devotional, it's different, and it has a tenderness, which I think takes you right to the heart of the Christmas story. And that's one of the reasons I think that this has become such a beloved choir carol. It's not the sort of carol a congregation could sing or an audience. I mean, it is for a choir to sing, no question of that. And it does need beautiful singing like we heard there from the 16. But, well, they wrote it, put it in for the competition, and it duly won first prize. I can't imagine a newspaper running a competition like that now, but thus it was then. I think it was at the News Chronicle, a now defunct newspaper. Anyway, Peter Warlock reported that it paid for a king-sized pub crawl, which for those of you outside England is something peculiar. I've never been on one myself. I mean, this is purely just reported. But the idea is that you drink English warm beer, which is quite potent, and particularly from the part of England where Warlock lived. He lived in the midst of hop growing country in Kent. And the beer is quite potent, and you go from one pub to another until you finally have to be carried out. You become more and more festive as you go along, and it seems that he and Bruce Blunt did just that on the proceeds of their win. But what they bequeathed to us is one of the tenderest and loveliest, I think, of devotional Christmas carols.